Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is LolaAjisafe here. This is Ready to Love. We're doing episode 6. What's this called again? Dates and Doubts. I'm current. We're here. A little bit late, but we're here. And we're here to talk. So, housekeeping rules before we start. Don't forget to like the video. Like, you come in, you see this, hit the like button. Second, if you have something to say about what I said the last video or the video before last or something, drop it. You're gonna hear from me. If you drop something, you're gonna hear from me. If you're trolling, you may not hear from me. And then last but not least, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Let's go into it. So ladies lounge, now it seems that the show is being more intentional. They're trying to foster some kind of connection, because it's apparent to all involved that a lot more people are coming just for exposure and not for love. So they're going to have to make this thing more interesting. First date of the episode, Phil and Aries. I don't know if they actually. I was going to say I don't know if they had. No, I remember they discussed. They haven't had a date. This is their first date, but apparently they've been having phone conversation on the phone for hours and hours. But this hearing is what is important, because this dating field, this dating game, this dating minefield is tricky. So I think what I wanted to emphasize here is don't get caught up in being on the phone with someone for months on end. You attracted to and in love with a voice, and you see the person and they don't look right. So I say this to say, yeah, you can start off a conversation, but please meet the person so you know if that physical chemistry is there, because that physical chemistry is not there. It's not there. You wasted your time. You wasted 5 months. But anyway, apparently they've been talking for a little while, hours. The conversation's been going on for hours, so they feel like they have a connect, but they need to meet to see what's up. So they start talking about her doubts. She brings up, because of course the job this week is for women to discuss their doubts and concerns with the gentleman. So her doubts or concerns: will he be able to accept her 2 sons? Will be able to accept the fact that she's been divorced twice. Now, her being divorced twice is not an automatic grounds for, oh God, can't deal. Not at all. But it's definitely automatic grounds for why. You find out why. What happened. So divorce twice is a red flag. Or let's call it a yellow. Even with a red flag doesn't mean discard. Red flag means please investigate why and understand exactly why. Because what makes you not that next. That's all. So so she's definitely concerned that he might be concerned with the fact that she has children. I don't know if I hear he does have 1 kid, and the fact that she's been married twice. Is she able to? Because they do say the more times you get married, the less likely the marriage is going to succeed. Now, of course, there are always exceptions to the rule. Don't want to hear about it. But just the percentages of success in latter marriages are lower than first time or maybe even second time. By the time you go to 3rd and 4th, now it's like you're more comfortable getting divorced. I don't know what the numbers are, but that's how it works. Phil did say that he wanted more kids, but he said that it doesn't have to be kids that he sired. Now, is he now just saying that in order to appear agreeable, because he likes her, he's formed a connect with her, the camera's rolling, or but that's going to be a real question he's going to need to ask himself. He's got 1 kid. Is that, I don't know if he has a boy. Does he want another kid? That's like real talk, because Phil, I don't remember how Phil is. So Phil is 41. Will he really, does he not want another kid with his DNA? Is that going to be a deal breaker for him? Or is he really being honest and saying that he doesn't have to have another kid? That's left to be seen. I mean, watching the date, they appear to have a connection. The date ends in a soft, gentle kiss. But that's going to be something big for them that they're going to need to really tease out. Next date of the episode is Sierra and Chris. There's Chris Nigerian and Chris, I don't know, Chris with the afro. Yeah, let's do. So Chris with the afro. So Sierra and Chris with the afro get together. Of course, he's one of the ladies' favorites because I believe he's taller, has a deep voice, and apparently is physically attractive. They talk about her doubts. You know, she's just saying that she's going to need and require a gentleman who's consistently, if he say one thing, like he consistently showing that his actions match his words and his words match his actions. You know, Chris, in the midst of that conversation, Chris talks about he has no insecurities. That's a flag. You can call it whatever color flag you want, but if you don't have any insecurities, you're either lying, or you're not introspective, or you lack foresight, or you're just not in touch with yourself, because we all have insecurities. You know, argue with whoever you're gonna argue with. Don't argue with me. Go argue with a family member. We all have insecurities. That's what I'm like. Because there's one thing we would like, some of the interviews I've conducted over the years with people coming through for a job thing or whatever it is, one of the questions that we would ask, or I've asked, is like, you know, what are your insecurities? You know, you come up with, I don't have insecurities. That's not true. That's not true. We all do. Now, of course, when you're doing the interview process, you have to come up with a politically correct, you know, insecurity that allows you to show that there is some growth from that, to make you appear to be introspective. But yeah, that's I don't know. It don't make no sense. Nobody is walking on this earth and don't have insecurities. They're lying. Their insecurities are so deep, they don't want you to know. Not, you know, I don't know what to say. So right there, I'm like, second, you know, Sierra's a joker. She talk about apparently she's doing well as a stylist. So, you know, she talks about she does well for herself, and then she's like, well, you know, you're gonna buy me a Birkin and a Chanel bag. I mean, clearly she's joking. She don't know him, he don't know her. They're just joking, having conversation. But he's like, I think the date got awkward, because after that he's like, well, if I'm not making money, are you going to, you know, have my back? It don't look like there's a match. Like, nah, there's not going anywhere, because he clearly took offense to the turn of that conversation when she talked about Birkin, and he talked about a Birkin and Chanel bag. That really just threw him off. I don't know why it threw him off, but it threw him off. And then I think, judging from how he was acting, Sierra was like, uh-oh. Next date, Chris and Jessica. So Jessica comes to meet Chris on one of his sites of the homes he's constructing. She comes with, like, you know, a lunch bag. She's providing lunch. So they have they get talk. So one of the important things that Chris brings up is he likes a strong woman. He says he's not intimidated by a strong woman, but when she's with him, he would like her to have a softer tone. Immediately, Jessica's response to that is, I can't whisper. I don't think that's what he was saying. My interpretation of what Chris says was that, yeah, you're a boss lady, you're the boss woman, you're a boss, you're all these things at work, but when you're with me as my woman, I want you softer, and I want to be the man. I want to have the masculine energy in the room when I'm with you. So I want you to put that, when you get home, hang up that hat and be soft with me. Don't be the boss lady here, do this, do that. And honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that makes sense. Like, honest, and I can't speak for her, but if I speak for myself or people that may process like me, if you're in a male-dominated industry where you're required to walk in male energy a lot of the time and be more like a lot of the time, when you get home, I won't be like that. I don't think she won't be like that. You want to relax and lean in. That's what he's requesting. He's asking her indirectly, like, when you get home, will you hang that up and lean in and let me be the man? That's what I got from that. Now, for someone who likes to occupy that masculine space, then by all means you will find a man who doesn't want to occupy that masculine space. They're out there. I come across some of them. Okay, so you want to know, let me hit you out. I get you who they are. But if you truly want a man who is masculine, then you need to be prepared to pull back when you're not at work or when you're not doing your business. That's what I got from that. But immediately she seemed triggered. Sis, I don't think that was he. I don't think he was talking out his mouth. I think he was quite straightforward, because some will not say that to you but be offended and da 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 da. But he's saying this is what I would like. I think that's straightforward. I don't know, at me if you want to. Tell me what you got from that, but that's what I got. And I don't think that's an unreasonable request. I think it's quite reasonable and makes sense, because nowadays a lot more women are doing a lot more for themselves, so they occupy these spaces, so they know how to live in that, sit in that energy. But do we want to live in that energy? I say we don't. But some of y'all who do, I'm not here to judge you. Just know who you're picking. Pick someone who don't, like, if he don't want to be in his masculine energy, okay, pick him. But somebody who wants to live in his masculine energy, don't be mad at him because he wants to be masculine and you want to be masculine too. No, go find someone who wants to, because really a relationship is yin and yang. If you as a woman say you want to have the most masculine energy, go find a man who wants to sit in his feminine. I'm not here to judge you. Just let it work for you. But don't be mad at a man who won't be masculine, but you won't be masculine too. That's what I got from that. So I'm not sure how, although keep in mind I'm only watching the edits showed on OWN network. Maybe there was more in that conversation that offended her, but based on what I heard and saw in those clips, that's what I got from it. Then I think they had one more conversation about he wasn't making time for her. This seems to be a going theme. He did say he was a little busy, but he did kind of throw it back at her that was she making time for him. I don't know where that's going to go, but let's see. But he seems intentional, but let's see. I'm not making a case for anyone. Let's see. Are they not making time for each other? Is everyone this season just doing the bare minimum to make it to the next episode? I don't know. Left to be seen. Next date, Marvin and Katerina. Like, I think what plays out here, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, their date, else I won't bring it up at all because there's nothing else to discuss, is Katerina goes on to say more of what the ladies haven't said. Like, apart from all his, you know, his innuendos or being a, what do they call it? Is it dominant? 1, 2. Talk about forced orgasms, and then 3 they hadn't brought up before. I think he's polyamorous or something. So she's like, yo, my G, like, I'm concerned that you would not want to practice monogamy. I want monogamy. And he said, well, yeah, he can if that's what she wants. Like, no, my G, don't lie. If you're someone who like, you know, bread, rice, stew all at the same time, don't lie and say you only want bread. Meanwhile, your stomach will be churning for more. Your last you're going to cheat. So come up with the truth from the beginning. So right there, I think that was the nail in the coffin for me. Like, dude, don't go ahead and lie. You're polyamorous, you're poly this, you're poly that, you're not monogamous, and you're going to say, yeah, just because yeah. So right now, that did not come off as genuine to me or to the lady sitting in front of him. Marvin, you're doing too much, sir. I wonder what led you to come to a show such as this. In all these seasons, because we saying this is season 9. In all these seasons, there was somebody else who tried to get through. Like, I don't know if they don't even screen these candidates. Like, do you look at their book, their past, their history? Like, if they're practicing polyamory, this show, they will just come here and misbehave, because on this show you're meant to pick one person. If you want to do a polyamorous show, then you're meant to pick multiple people, right? But this show is pushing for monogamy, right? You're meant to pick one person. So why would you bring on contestants who practice polyamory? Because polyamory doesn't mean, okay, I'm going to be polyamorous today and I'm going to practice monogamy tomorrow. No, it's not like that. You're polyamorous or you're not. So your producers letting people on the show that obviously are polyamorous is aggravating. Because now it's clear that this guy don't only practice all that other stuff, like he like different people at the same time. Like he like his plate stacked with fish, chicken, meat, pork, and then the sides. So he want a whole bunch of things at the same time. Producers, do better. Screen the candidates. But back to my point here. So clearly, so this guy has it. Apparently, there's some talk of him being polyamorous. So why is he on the show? Next day, Kira and Herbert. She invites him to his house. She cooks for him. The dog is jumping on him. I'm like, yo, don't have your dog jumping on someone that's a visitor. Train your dog, let your dog sit down. I want, like, yeah, so I like dogs here, but I don't know the dog. I don't know if the dog was just scratching his butt. Like, no. Then she does a TikTok with him. Like, Kira is like her 30s. She acting like a high school cheerleader. Like, I'm not saying I don't do TikToks, but or do I? Do I do dance on TikTok? I don't know. But yeah, she she might be better suited for MTV's The Real World, if that is still running. I don't know if she's suited for this format. Prove me wrong. Alright, so that's, yeah, I don't know if Herbert had fun. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I was just looking at her like, really? You invite a gentleman to your house, you cook for... Anyway, you know what? I'm not here to judge her. Maybe that's her thing, but TikTok? A TikTok. Next date was Quentin and Janelle. They get to really talk. I guess this is their first one-on-one. Age difference comes up. And I think in the regard where she's saying that, look, I'm in my 40s. If we're serious, we're going to need to get married soon so we can start having kids soon. He said, bring it. I'm like, okay. He said, bring it. I'm like, I like this take charge energy. They talk about adoption. She's adopted apparently, and she's very open to adoption. Once again, Quentin wins some points here with me. Talk about for a serious relationship, marriage, blah 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 blah. He's looking for a best friend. Key, his best friend, because yeah, all that stuff that happened in the bedroom is all fun, but when there's a misunderstanding, you're being best friends, that will help resolve the misunderstandings that will most definitely come. Yeah, Quentin's swinging, you know, he's swinging right outside the park right now. All right, so as we're getting towards the end of the episode, I believe that Kira and Morier meet up again for something. We know there's no connect here, but maybe they're meant to have a conversation. Kira don't like him because he's not slim. He don't look like a football star. He don't look like a quarterback or something, clearly, because, you know, that's what she's looking for. When she had been in the bottom two last week, the elimination date, Morier had mentioned or asked her if she was for or into black culture because he was an activist, and if the woman beside him needs to be for it as well. She goes on to say that him asking or implying that felt like a slap in the face. But sis, you asking Quentin if he only date white women, that one a slap in the face? Here, I'm just here to watch. I'm not here to tell you, but I'm just saying like that's how can you not take what you're dishing out? But I mean, do you, sis? Like, you keep doing that. But yeah, that was the only thing. I was like, I don't know what to do with that, what to make of that. I'm not here to defend either of them. He may have seen something to ask her that, but moving on. Last date is Lee and Marvin. They had a date prior, maybe 2 episodes ago, where Lee was just like, yo, this is too much for me. I guess she comes here to confirm it was too much for her because it was very awkward. And he goes on to keep, it seems apparent when you see him, because he's been on a lot of dates. For someone who's always on chopping block, he's been on a lot of dates. He always appears to be pandering to whoever he's sitting in front of, because she had made mention of, okay, this is what I want, you're doing too much for me. And I think she had asked the question is if he was, you know, one man, one woman, and she wasn't into some of his the things he's into, would that not make him want to step out? And would him pushing his true desires down, would that make him not want to step out? And he said, as long as there's understanding, there's communication, sir, that's a lie. Like, if you into swinging and your partner's not into swinging, what's going to happen in the game now? If you like threesomes and she doesn't like threesomes, my guy, why are you here? He probably has a novel coming out. You know, at the reunion, just tell us the novel and just go in peace and quiet. Leave this woman alone. So that's the end of the day. Anyway, so we're getting to Ladies Lounge. Bottom 2, of course, Marvin. Second, Morier. There's some mention, like all these snippets are coming out that are not necessarily aired, but we're hearing. I don't know if it was Jessica, but someone said that they said Morier is a stag. I don't know what stag is, but apparently he's a stag who is in a relationship with someone but likes to watch their partner relate with somebody else. Did I say that I was an adult actress? That I will now be part of a stag scenario? I always tend to personalize these things, but please leave me out of this. So already we're all gasping and clutching our pearls, like, oh my goodness. And then Morier, they say, is the homie. So bottom 2. And then there's one part, I think it was Kira who was talking about, been slagging off Marie, say whether she said Marie is this, oh, you know what, she mad at Marie because Marie called her out. Like, when Marie had said, because he stood by what he when people say I say what I said, he said what he said, because he didn't back down from it. So because Marie had implied that maybe she wasn't about that life, like she was more about hanging with Becky and them, she was offended. And so she was really slagging off Marie. And Janelle say, oh sis, what you're not gonna do is sis say what you're not gonna do is come for someone just because they called you out on your stuff. There's a little back and forth. I think the energy, so the words I have no issue with the words of exchange, but the energy isn't necessary. Like, Janelle, why are you getting crunk? Like, she's not worth it, sis. She's not worth it. You won't be fighting with a small girl over nothing. People are fighting over nothing. But you can check her with all that energy. Like, rah, rah, rah. Nah, just tell her. Real clip tones. Like, sis, what you're not going to do is slag off Maria because he called you out. I'm done. All right, next. That's what you would do. Say and dismiss her. She got nothing to go with. She said something and then I'm done. I've said what I said. Yeah, but it was all like, And then Jessica comes in to second what Janelle is saying. She also come with a little bit rah rah rah, like, sis, both of y'all could have really put sis in her place, but real cool, calm and collected. Because what little girl come up with, talk about, yeah, they're snarky and da 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 da. And so they bring up I think she was, like I said, she was the one who had started the white one comment about Quentin. So they do bring that up, that she had said that, and that she has a tendency to do that when she gets called out. And apparently Jessica's made some comments to support that. This is why Maria said that, because maybe she had said something in the past about, some things being too black. I mean, can things be taken out of context? Yeah, I don't know, but with Kira, I told you that she come off like a valley girl who's in high school. So two things can be true at the same time. So yeah, she could be all of these things, and yes, these ladies also could be a little irritated by her, because she like Becky and Keisha can't be friends most of the time. Becky and Keisha, they don't see eye to eye. Like, if you think, what was that cheerleading show that Gabrielle Union did? Like, because Becky and them were stealing routines from Keisha and them. So they were. I mean, at the end, they kind of did like a ceasefire, but Becky and Keisha can't. They're not going to be homies. They're not going to be tight homies. But we can agree to disagree. So I'm going to say that, what, Janelle, Jessica, and Kira, y'all can agree to disagree without giving people, putting into fire the fact that people always say that women can't get along if we don't share the same sentiment. Like, Becky can stay on one end, Keisha can stay on the other. We don't have to fight. We don't have to agree. Like I said, just like boom, 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 boom. All right, cool. You still talking? Because I'm done. Like, you can say it real short and be done. Like, finished. Case closed. Don't at me, at your mom. As the kids say, don't at me, at your mom. But yeah, the energy is like, I get the points, because we don't know what's true and what's not. We just hear two things, and now we have to make sense of what we've seen and what they're saying, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. So, but yeah, the energy is unnecessary. So anyway, at the Uncle Nephew Tommy say, y'all need to respect each other. You don't have to agree. He just echoed what I told y'all. But there's a curveball. I don't have a ball with me right now. I was going to throw out a ball that, yeah, they're going to put 3 guys on chopping block and send to home. Uncle, why are you people wicked? So now you want more women and less. So you just want to create drama, unnecessary drama. I disagree. And I'm offended by this. But anyway, so they're going to send 2 guys home, right? 2 guys go home, 3 people on chopping block. So who are the guys they put on chopping block? Marvin. They put, who's the other guy? Marie. And they put Chris. Now, how did Chris come up? Chris came up because the ladies have been saying that the guy will be giving his resume, his professional resume, instead of talking about himself. And based on the date that he had with Sierra, I'm inclined to believe that. Of course, then the messy producers always do, clips back of, they talk about his business, he's a mother, and he's a decent looking guy, country guy, decent looking. But, maybe the bright lights make him a little, overwhelmed and a little insecure, even though they don't have security, so he gets like, diarrhea mouth and need to prove himself. I don't know. Because I haven't seen anything totally bad about him, talking a tad too much, a little, so he really is insecure. But isn't that the truth? Most people always try to be overconfident having insecurities, because we all have insecurities. Now I don't have to share my insecurities with you, but I have them. So those are the people on the chopping block. So already, Marvin going home. Marvin, you know what I'm telling you? You shot yourself in the foot when you sent old girl home last week. Because nobody else wants you. You got your poly lifestyle. You got your alternative interests. They don't fit. Because this show is for monogamous couples. That's why monogamy is the point. That's why, everybody's picking one person. If you're meant to pick 2 or 3, then it will fit. So while you signed up for the show, you're going to share with us on the reunion. I hope they let you share it with us, because I don't know what you were expecting to achieve, because they called you stag, they called you a dominant. At least this was coming out. So please, Uncle Nephew Tommy, if you people haven't filmed the reunion yet, this is what we want. I want to address the stag comment. I want to address the poly lifestyle, the dominance. That is this all for real, because this is for real. You can't lie to these women and say that all of a sudden you're going to suppress those desires. But anyway, he gone home. The second person, Chris. Now Chris, he's a smooth talker. I don't know if he's sincere, but I didn't get enough TV time to really see how sincere he is. His marketing strategy of his gifts, I don't know. They sent him home. I don't know if it was a good idea to keep Mario over him. We'll soon find out. But I don't know. But I don't know. But Chris has gone home. He's not intentional. He sent the resume. So they decided to keep Maurier. Even though they say he's giving homeboy vibes. Who are the people that are interested in Maurier? That's why I'm not sure if they thought this through. Because Maurier, I know Jessica was batting for him. Who again is looking at Maurier as their first choice? Whereas I want to say with Chris, I think the Kira like him. All the girls were kind of interested in him, but weren't sure about him. But Maurier, even Jessica, she's just pitying him out. Anyway, this is a show, so let's see how this goes. But they sent Chris home, so Maurier gets to live another day. But my point to this is that, really, Maurier, you're cool with me, but I'm honestly saying I haven't seen someone who's really batting for you like that. Honestly, please run down the list of the women and then tell me who's into him. Is Sierra into Maurier? Jessica says she's into Maurier. Is Kira into Maurier? She definitely not feeling him. Who again are the women there? Janelle? No. Who else? I don't have time to start going through that list. But I honestly don't know who else is really feeling Maurier. Jessica, half. Like, he's just one of her. He's not her top. Maurier is not anybody's top. So, did they shoot themselves in the foot by sending Chris home instead of Maurier? To be continued. We will see that. As Chris goes off into the sunset, he's saying that one girl, first of all, how disrespectful, you couldn't say Sierra, but he said one girl talk about, she's asking about Birkin, but came in an Uber. Now, he may or may not have a point. Now, she may have come in an Uber because she was planning to drink, and she's a responsible drinker. Then again, she came in, are you trying to say she don't have a car? I don't know. So he may have a point that, maybe she don't have a car, but she's talking about Birkins and Chanel bags, but she was joking. And then you may not have a point because maybe she's responsible with her drinking. I don't know. But what was, like, guy, come on. Get out your feelings, was when you said one girl was asking about Birkins. You know who it was. I know who it was. So why are we playing? Maybe he forgot her name. I don't know, because I'm bad with names too. But we have now come to the end of the 6th episode. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. Lola, over and out.